All right, everybody. It's 7 a.m. It is time to get going with our 30-day yoga challenge. Welcome to day 2. Let's start in a standing position today. And feet about shoulder width apart. Just roll those shoulders back and down. Back and down. And forward and down. Forward and down. Forward and down. One more time. Forward and down. Arms up, reaching high. Link those thumbs together, stretch to the sky. Up on the toes, up on the toes, up on the toes. Take it to the right. Keep those hips out. Back through center. Take it to the left. And through center. And swan dive down. Opening up that lower back. Just let the head hang here for a second. You can support your lower back up here on your thighs. Bend your knees a little bit. And let the arms drop. And come all the way back up, one vertebrae at a time. Lifting high. Keep those hips out to the left. And to the right. Thought I saw somebody pop on there. Come on in. And release. Swan dive all the way down. Go ahead and mute yourself, please. Hang on just a second. Come on back, but please mute yourself. You don't want to be on the recording. Thought I had it set to mute on entry. All right, hands up, one more time. Oh, take a little back bend. And all the way down, this time reaching forward, stepping back into our down dog. Hips high, shoulders and chest reaching for the floor. Pedal it out, pedal it out. Hips high. Take it forward and backwards a few times. Into plank. And back to down dog. Into plank. And back to down dog. Into plank. And back to down dog. Keep that left foot up. And hold. Into the chest. And out. To the chest. And out. Into the chest. And out. Release. Pedal it out, pedal it out. Keep those hips up high. Shoulders and chest reaching for the floor. Bring it back out to plank. And back. Plank to down dog. And kick that right leg out and hold. Bring the knee into the chest and out. In and out. In and out. In and out. Back to down dog. And drop the knees. Open up those knees. Toes together, knees apart. Down into child's pose. Take your head down. If you need a bolster or anything right here, you can put a pillow right here. Or lean forward. Start getting that torso in between the hips here, in between the knees. And drop your body down as far as you can, relaxing that lower back, relaxing those hip flexors. Whew. Take a few breaths here, in through the nose, out through the mouth. And release. Bring back up onto all fours, hands and knees shoulder width apart. Cat-cow. Cat-cow is such a great exercise. We like to slip it in as much as possible. It gives our spine flexibility, mobility. This is not a move that we do a lot in normal everyday stuff. So to make our pelvis move the opposite direction is really strengthening. So make sure you take your time with this. Arching the back and releasing. Arching the back one more time, each direction. And releasing. Cross the ankles and sit back on the feet. We're gonna use a strap today to help us out. If you've got a strap, I just grabbed something that I had around. You can use a tie, a sock, a strap from something. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be fancy. We're gonna start using this today to help us with our hamstring stretches and with our arms. So we can also use this. If you've got one of these stretchy ones, take your arms up like this. It'll help us keep a little bit of structure as we're doing our side bends, keeping those sit bones locked in place, which is the hard part here, activating that core. And over to the other side, keeping that right sit bone. Oh, that's hard. Keeping the sit bones locked in place. And back. And forward, stretching forward. And walk the hands back. All right, now we're going to take our left leg out, loop it. Got your strap, whatever you've got, a tie or something. Just use this here. We're going to walk our way down. And we're going to break our strap. Well, we can still use that. See, it doesn't have to be fancy. Getting that left leg straight, right leg in, all the way in. Turn the torso here and follow it down. Eventually, we want our head to be on our knee. So we can bend the knee for now to try and get some connection there. We're feeling this right here. And eventually over time, we will drop that farther and farther. This is a pretty good stretch today. Wide leg, forward, stretch, bring that other leg out. And can just reach down the legs. Again, if your hamstrings are tight like mine, you can open your knees up and reach for the ankles. Getting some movement in those hamstrings. Starting to build some strength, some mobility, some flexibility in those hamstrings. Off season is such a great time to work on all of this. And left leg comes in, right leg goes out. Let's lasso that right foot if you can. Straighten it up. Turn the torso. Ooh. And down. Bringing that knee up. Getting as close to the forehead as possible. Adapting, modifying position as much as you need to. And release. Back to wide leg. Open, forward, fold. The other way that we do this is standing up and we lay our body down and try to reach the ground. Sometimes the weight of our body coming down makes the stretch a little bit deeper. So bear that in mind. There are lots of different ways to accomplish these. I'm feeling it right here in my lower back. Nice stretch in the hamstring. And just give it a second, give it a few breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And release, walking back up. Soles of the feet together, butterfly. Stretching into that, do a few little pulses forward. Feeling the stretch in the inner thighs. Your knees may not be down all that way, they may be up here, and that's fine. That's somewhere to go. And bring those knees down close to the floor as you're working this pose. And release. Turning onto the right side, we're gonna leave our right leg like this. Left knee behind, this is a deer pose. Basically, we're going to grab our ankle and up here like this. Deer pose. I don't know why it's called deer pose. But this gives you a great flexibility in the hip, working that quad in as well, and the hip on the other side. This is one of those lateral motion stretches. Here comes my yoga cat. Good morning, darling. Hello. Hi. You doing yoga with us today? Just hold this a few seconds. Hi, baby. Oh, my goodness. And now I have to stay here in this pose indefinitely. Oh, there she goes again. All right, let's take that on the other side. Drop the left foot, being careful not to over rotate your hip as you're doing this, changing sides. Going over onto the left foot down, right foot comes over here. It's really easy to kind of jank up your hip there, so be cautious. Hi. Grabbing the leg. There we go. On the right side. Feeling that stretch in the right quad. Even press down. Feel it all through the core. Lifting that foot as high as you like. Getting some internal rotation in the hip. A few breaths here. You know you're on tape, right? You know you're on film. And release. Being cautious, bring it back to our butterfly, and we're going to grab our loop again. I might need a longer one. Okay. All right, bringing those feet in just a little bit farther. See if you can bring it in just a tad more than you did before. Feeling that nice stretch on the inner thigh. Working on hamstrings today. Hamstrings, inner thighs, glutes, all that posterior chain stuff we need to pay attention to. Get activated. All right, release that. And we are going to come down onto our backs. Let's see, I think I'm going to do this direction. And raising that left foot, lasso it with your strap if you've got it. Keeping the knee bent. I'm going to work on that rotation of the hip. And drop the leg to the side. My hips always pop when I do this one. And you can do a few little pulses here, breathing into this pose. The trick here is keeping that right sit bone locked down on the other side. Don't allow the right side, whoop, there we go, broke the other one. Keep the right hip locked down, don't let it pop up. And rotating, internally rotating that hip. Give it a few pulses this direction, a few pulses this direction. And to come out of this, just bend the knee and come back up. Straight up. Hold that for a second. few little pulses. She would like to be the center of attention now. And back out to the side, consciously keeping that right hip, that right sit bone locked onto the floor. And do that internal rotation on the hip again. If you've got that move, and a little bit of pulsing up toward you. And then the knee to release, bring it back up, and release that left leg. Lasso the right leg. Whoa, so it's super tight now. Yeah. Do a few pulses up, forward. If you're super stretchy, you may not even need the strap for these. You can just use your leg strength to do it too. So if you don't have a strap, you don't necessarily need one. And drop that leg to the side. Keeping that left sit bone locked in on the floor. Don't let it come up. Keep it down, engage the core, internal rotation of the hip. And my hip is clicking. Yes, it is. And a few pulses back. Then the knee to release, come forward, and straight up again. One more time, drop the leg to the side. Woo. Engage the core, keeping the left sit bone locked in place on the mat. Internal rotation, the hip. All sit forward and back a little bit. And release. Woo. Bring both feet up. Stretch it up, pulse it up, pulse it up, pulse it up. Engage the lower abs. Roll it down just about to there until you feel your lower abs engage. This is a variation on boat pose. Eventually we'll not be using the strap and our torso will be up as well. Like a boat. And back up. Pulse it up, pulse it up. And bring those feet down. Keeping the sit bones locked in place on the mat. Just to where you can feel abs, lower abs engaging. You can use your elbows to help support. And bend the knees. And release. Whew. Drop the feet back into butterfly. Drop the knees to the sides from this. And just check and see how those hips are feeling. There was a lot of internal rotation today on that. Roll around a little bit, bring the knees together. Knees up to the chest. Give yourself a little back rub on the lower part of the back here. Free lower back massage. Anytime you want it. Oh, that feels good. All right, bring yourself back up to a sitting position. Find your happy spot. Favorite position, half lotus, full lotus, just crossing your legs, Indian style, whatever works for you. Take a few seconds and just relax. Gather your thoughts for the day. We've worked our hips and our hamstrings today a lot. Be mindful of that during the day. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water. Stay hydrated. Apparently there's some kind of freeze warning today, so be cautious. Be cautious in driving and wear a jacket. All right, close your eyes for just a second. Take about 10 deep breaths in silence. I'll stop yapping.
Open your eyes. Ooh, thank you for joining me for day 2 of our 30-day yoga challenge. I will see you tomorrow at 7 a.m. bright and early. Have a fantastic day, everybody. Bye.